Okie Dokie Nerds, welcome back to another vintage video. Today we're playing a bit of a brew. A package suggested by viewer Ryan is once upon a time, Sphinx of Foresight to find the bazaars instead of the serum powders, which I think is a cool idea. I've just struggled to come up with a list for it, but also in there was discussed Bazaar Trademage. So this is a 3-mana 3/4 flyer. When it comes into play, draw 2, discard 3. So it's just another Bazaar of Baghdad. So we've got 8 bazaars and 8 diggers for it. And then on top of that, because these guys are blue, we get some nice blue permission. But we also get gran-gran as well. 1 mana, 1/2. Whenever gran-gran becomes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. So, essentially yet another Bazaar of Baghdad. So we can use these bazaar proxies to play our 8 lizards, 4 vines, 4 hollow ones. And then we've got a few big beefy flyers, gran-grans, ancestral misstep, and walk. And then in the land package, we've got access to the 4 bazaars, of course, some fetches for some trops. Maybe I'm playing a few too many trops. I'm playing 4 and 3 fetches. We've got 1 Besaju, 1 strip mine, and then 2 wastelands as well. I think the mouse is running out of battery. And then finally, I've added 2 ancient tombs to go with the trade mages. Because obviously, Sapphire ancient tomb is turn 1 trade mage. Land into ancient tomb is a trade mage as well. Maybe we'll cast some sphinxes, but that I think is be more of a pitch card. And the idea is just play some blue spells, find some Bazaar of Baghdad's, drop some beaters, and slay. That's generally going to be the idea of today, backed up with permission. I'm pretty excited. It looks really fun. Gran-Gran's freshly banned in standard, so time to graduate to vintage. Post board, we've got 1/1 negation, taking our final count to 3 negations, 4 traps for Dredge, 3 dismembers for mono white, 2 oofs, 3 rods. That configuration, because obviously Ancient Tomb Rod is really powerful. And then 2 more Bestajus, because I wanted more strip mines, but I also probably need a way of dealing with needles, cages, this sort of crap. Cages aren't too much of an issue. Needles aren't too much. None of the hate's much of an issue because we've only got the 4 vengevines that use the yard. But we just need something like that, some sort of disenchant. And I went with Besaju over Vigor because I only played 2 wastelands in the main. That's our deck for today. So thank you, Ryan, for the suggestion. Let's see how we do. Hopefully it's a grand old time. Okay, it's round 1. We're up against Mifus Van Gogh, so probably against Dredge. We are on Suspicious Bazaar of Baghdad, but we do have the meme to dream with here on the play. We've got Once Upon a Time, Sphinx of Foresight, looking for just Vengevines, I think. So let's keep this. So we've got turn 1 Trade Mage, which is basically Bazaar of Baghdad. We'll reveal the Sphinx of Foresight and say Okie Dokie then. We get our trigger because we're on the play. And I think I take the strip mine. Oh, but I'm still going to be... We know we're against Bazaar of Baghdad, so... Maybe I just go bottom, top this one, and then... I mean, do I still have to Once Upon a Time? So I don't have a draw step, right? That's the problem. If I don't Once Upon a Time, then I don't find a strip mine. Let's just cast them Once Upon a Time. There's no reason not to. I know I'm probably just cycling it for a strip mine, and I am just cycling it for a strip mine. But that's fine. And now we can cast Mox Sapphire, Ancient Tomb, Bazaar Trademage, and any Vengevines are more than welcome to appear here. So we do find 1 Vengevine and 2 lizards. And then we are a blue source away from just dumping Sphinxes into play from the turn after next. So that's cool. Lizard. Yield to all of those boys. Cast. Get a Vengevine into play because this was our first creature. Say yes, please. And then cast this. And then we know that their Bazaar is dead. They're at 16. And my clock is reasonable, right? It's 9 a turn. And you've got one activation to work your magic with. So there's the Bazaar. There's the old up and down. And they're going to be on some sort of combo list. They did play a Thoracle list the other day, which was cool. Just 2 Dredge returns in their list the other day, so I wonder how many they're playing today. Bridge, Trick, Grave, Troll, Shambling Shell. Do you have a Street Racer cycle? No, you've got a Grief. Okay, that's fine. Grief, Pitching, Creeping Chill. And from Mafus, there's no real risk of permission and no real risk of hollow ones. They take a Sphinx of Foresight, that's fine. Bridge gets them a 2/2, that's fine. I still think I send the lizards in, right? And another Grief taking another Sphinx, sure. So then they get double token. So I can't send the lizards in now, that's just maniacal. And we'll take our turn. We will strip mine you. And attack for 8. Oh no, I can send the lizards in. I get the bridges if I do. Yeah, the lizards can go. Maybe one lizard was better because then I get the bridges in the future as well. Yeah, that's fine. You eat them up. You got no bridges. Makes my life slightly easier. And they fall to 9, and then we've got 3 clean attacks over the top. They've got Dredge 9 available, but the Dredge 6 should find them something to work with. They find Unmasked, Dread Return, Bazaar. They found very little there. That was good for us. No more Dredges, so then their whole life depends on a Dredge 3. And then I find another red lizard, and I send. Don't care too much about the vengevine living or dying. Like, I'm not going to hold it back. Opponent can double block. I think one lizard was better last turn than one lizard this turn. I think that's way better, but never mind. They've got a Dredge 3 here, and they need to come up with something. No Icarids, no nothing so far. Do they have a Noxious in hand? That wouldn't make sense to me. They could have played it last turn. No, they just got a minor moment of consideration. Narcomoeba in, and another Shambling Shell. So Trademages and Bazaars are good for us here. It's a Force of Will. We'll get him for 3. They've not got any bridges, so that they don't get any zombie compensation. We know their hand, right? Grave Troll. Oh, yeah. So they had to slow roll that because they need to come up with something. Grave Troll, Shambling Shell, 2 others. They hit a Creeping Chill here and a bridge from below. And they've got an Icarid in the tank as well. So I need to draw a blue card here, really, to fight that Dread Return with. I still attack. They've got no Dredgers, so they can top deck Bazaars now. They do block to get the token with. But now everything they do is on the floor. The Icarid can come back in. They've got a Grief to eat. And if they can find another creature somehow, then they'll get a Dread Return on a Grief off. But that looks tough. But this Icarid is at least going to make another token. I take 5 this turn. And then I take 7 next turn. So then that's cool. That's a Vengevine. And I can just Force of Will the reanimate, I think. Because they'll have to reanimate Noxious Revival. So unless they've drawn a... They'll have to Dread Return Narcomoeba. They'll need a Grief of some variety this turn to work with prior to casting Dread Return to stop me from preventing that, and that's going to be the whole game. they've drawn Unmask or a Grief, then they win. If they haven't drawn an Unmask or a Grief, then I win. They played 2 Griefs turn 1, and they've milled 1 Unmask. They could have it. They could quite easily have it. But I can always top deck Bazaar or Trademage next turn, and then I'd have lethal. But Dread Return Narcomoeba kills from their point of view. They do have the Unmask, which is sad. I can't put anything on the stack. Do I even bother to force? What does Unmask exile? A Shambling Shell. I mean, they know about my lizards, right? Isn't that true? I shouldn't have forced because now I can't cast Ancient Tomb. Now I can't cast Trade Mage. So now I just have to top deck Bazaar of Baghdad. They get Narcomoeba. I have top deck Bazaar. I just reduced my outs by casting that. Dread Return on the Narcomoeba. Yeah. No, I just fucked that up. Now I'm down to 4 outs rather than 3 outs. Mox Emerald doesn't do anything. Icarid kills me. Icarid has no food. And they have no dredges, so we can chill for a second. Icarid has no food and they have no dredges. So they can't actually grind through me here. But I do die to the next top deck. I can just cast that lizard, can't I? And that's just really powerful. So that's lethal next turn. That forces 2 blocks. Then the bridge gets me. But I can just attack with the... No, I still can't attack with both. Still can't attack with either. I still die to the bridge from below. They're on 7 cards. There's no block here, is there? Tropical Island. There's no attack. Because I know I die to the Narc. If I attack with the Trade Mage, they get 2 tokens. Yeah, so no. I've got to hang out for a second. Icarid does nothing, but now they get to discard to hand size. But I now get onto Trade Mage if I draw one. Yeah, Force of Will on Unmask was just really bad, really unnecessary. I should just let them look. They take a Force of Will, then they Dread Return. I still have a life point, and that life point is playing the whole game at the moment. So we kind of gave them the avenue back into this game by hiding the information that my hand's bad. They discard to hand size. I imagine Black Creature, Order of the Day. Okay, so Grief comes in, takes something. I don't know what you take. Maybe just a lizard. Takes the vengevine. Okay. And then what? And I draw a Flooded Strand. And that's an Icarid as well. Okay. You are victorious. Yeah, I just fucked up on my life points with the Force of Will, and that's why we lost. We're bringing these. We're bringing Besages. And then what don't we want? Misstep's good. The negations are fine, I think, against Unmask. But I can drop them anyway. And then... I don't really want to cut gran-gran. She's a bit cool, no? Human Peasant Ally. Banger. Maybe 4 drops is too many anyway. 63. Well, maybe actually just keep the Tropical Island. and just ship it on the Force of Wills. Just play like this. I think that's actually fine. I've got Wastelands and Strip Mines and Ravenous Traps to work with. So, okay, on the play this time, and I like our hand. It's pretty cute. We've got a Once Upon a Time. We've got a Ravenous Trap. They've got a Leyline of the Void, which is fine. We'll cast Once Upon a Time. We will find a Hollow one, a Bazaar Trademage, Sphinx of Foresight, and a Verdant Catacombs. Hollow one's a bit tough. Bazaar Trademage looks unrealistic as well. So maybe I just take Verdant. Play Verdant. Fetch up a Tropical Island and cast a gran-gran. Because gran-gran's basically Bazaar of Baghdad. So that's good. That's good. Opponent has kept 7, Leyline plus Bazaar. They've got Once Upon a Time of their own. And that finds a second Bazaar of Baghdad. So they play Bazaar. Do they have one of their Griefs or Unmasks? No, okay. And they don't play Hollow ones usually. Bridge, Shell. There's the Grief, pitching, Creeping Chill. Let's see how they stack their triggers first of all. They stack them correctly. We'll just trap away your Dredger and Bridge. And then you can see the good news. We know they've got a second Bazaar in hand though. But they'll take our Hollow one. That's easy. And then we'll strip their Bazaar. And play a Lizard. We'll attack for 1 first. Attack for 1. Draw, then discard. Draw a Lizard. Cast a Lizard. You take 1. Wasteland you. And then we've got Besage you your next Bazaar. Oh. No, they kept Leyline. Oh, so they just kept Leyline. Once Upon a Time. Well, that is a lot of faith in Once Upon a Time. I do not have that much faith in that card. We'll discard a Lizard. And we'll cast it. And then do I care about Leyline of the Void or do I just want to deal damage? I think I just want to deal damage. Opponent takes 4. And then they'll take 5 next turn. And then I've got their next 2 Bazaars covered. And if I can find myself a Ravenous Trap, that would be beautiful. So that's a Black Lotus, which is interesting as well. I think we attack first, though. Attack with everyone. Do our draw step. Discard another Lizard. Cast it. Pump this guy. And then cast a Black Lotus. And pass you. And then that should be lethal next turn, right? I get 3 pumps. Make red. You take 9, 10, yeah. That's just lethal. So that's good. Ravenous Trap and Wasteland. Coming in and doing it dirty. So, attack with everyone. Gran-gran draws and discards. We discard a Flooded Strand. Crack this for red. Pump this guy. Pump this guy. Pump this guy. And that's 10. Cool. And then, do we want anything different on the draw? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think everything's fine. Yeah, I think everything's fine. Okay, on the draw, obviously harder. We're up against a version where they're playing unmasks, so our Ravenous Traps aren't as good. This hand is extra suspicious. I've got a Wasteland and I've got a Ravenous Traps. That's super cool. And I've got a Scry 3, so I think I jam. I think I keep this. I'm so bad at applying pressure afterwards, though, right? And if this Ravenous Trap gets unmasked, it's horrible. Show game log. Opponent mulligans to 6 cards. I think I'll keep. I've got the Scry 3. Can find a Bazaar. Scry 3 is basically Bazaar of Baghdad. Let's reveal our Sphinx Foresight. And it's their turn. They're on 6. They've got a Bazaar. They have a Grief first of all, so they'll take our Ravenous Trap. And then they should activate now. Yep. Well sequenced. They pitched a Creeping Chill. So now if they do find and discard a bridge, which they do, oh, they've got the nuts. Icarid think we didn't bridge from below. Yes, this is just a really strong hand. 2 cards left over on the opposite side of the table. I get a Scry 3 here. Another Ravenous Trap. That's a delight. So bottom these 2 because I can't do anything with them. Bottom, bottom, top. Strip mine you. They'll pick up an Icarid with Grief because they want to get the power and toughness going. I'm now really up against it though. They'll dredge 5. Do they have another unmask or something? They've got another unmask and it's a real shame, but otherwise I get to eat the Icarid as well here. So end step, Icarid dies, trigger goes on the stack, and I trap you. So then you don't get your token, and it's just 2/2 plays nothing. Vengevine's bad. Let's play an Ancient Tomb. And pass. Oh, alright, Modo. That's cool. And now this will probably turn into 2 a turn from each, like 2 a turn from them, and I just need to draw spells that are relevant, you know? That's my whole game plan now. Tropical Island makes a gran-gran, which I think I do deploy. And then, do they still attack? Are they just hoping to do 2 a turn? Is that enough? They don't want gran-gran going in there. Do I want gran-gran going in there, or am I happy to chill out like this? I play more lands. I think my lands are better than their lands. So I think I can chill for a turn. But at some point, I don't know, that's really sketchy. Just any land and I'm just gaming, right? So it doesn't make much sense. There we go. Next question. Wooded Foothills, Sphinx of Foresight? I guess Sphinx of Foresight is better. Tropical Island and play a Sphinx. All these cards are blue. In we go. I'm at 10. No dramas of gran-gran for now. And now I get to scry 1 every turn, and that should find me my next Ravenous Trap fairly nicely. They're on 7 cards, so they're going to be discarding next turn, so we do need to get a move on, actually. So scry 1. Time Walk is a banger. Okay. Top card of your library is a Time Walk. Do I just Vengevine? I think so. All these cards are good. Let's just vine up and attack like so. So, do I want to attack with gran-gran? I think I want to attack with gran-gran, discard vengevine. Attack with gran-gran, discard vengevine, yeah. Maybe I was supposed to discard lizard. Opponent takes the 8. And then I can't imagine they're attacking. Oh, they are attacking. Okay, so we win. We win because we got walk. Scry 1. Smock Sapphire. Top the Sapphire. Cast Time Walk first. I don't have the mana, do I? Time Walk. Lizard. Attack for 8. Attack for 11. Should be good. Should be good. Opponent falls to 4. Scrying. Lizard Sphinx will bring back a vengevine. And opponent concedes the game. Okay, we beat Dredge. We shouldn't have lost game 1, but we did. And then we won the following 2. So, go us. Okay, round 2. We're up against Chamitino and Ortinho. And we've got, I don't know, just the whole world, I guess. We're going to keep it. I've got a Bazaar. I've got a Sphinx of Foresight. I've got a gran-gran. There's also an Ancestral and a Wasteland. Pretty cool hand. Obviously, no protection on the draw. So, things can go wrong. That's an Ancient Tomb. Do we just strip that? Do we just send that straight to the bin? I guess we see what our Sphinx has to say. Bazaar Trademage, vengevine, Wasteland. So, I like all of these cards. Maybe I don't like the Trademage quite so much. Scry 3 is not a cool thing to be lagging out on. I think I do like the Wasteland. I do like the vengevine. So I think I'll do top. Go to our draw step, and then just like if you're not doing anything relevant, we'll just pop that in the bin. You know, I think that's a perfectly fine place to be. And then next turn I can play gran-gran, and the following turn I can put everything into play. I'll say mono white, cleric. Do I just strip that as well, or do I just play a gran-gran? I think I strip that as well. Yeah. Just put all their cards in the graveyard for now, and then when we're ready to, we'll put our cards in the graveyard, you know? I think that's fine. Mono white's probably quite scary for us. So I just feel like this is one of these decks that's just going to bend over to a Swift Breeze. Cavern of Souls again. Okay, so they just had infinite lands today. Strip mine? That'd be cool. Maybe a Lizard. A Lizard would be really good, I think. A Lizard is our best draw. If I don't hit a Lizard or a Hollow One, then I'm just going to play gran-gran. And then things can go wrong. Like, I'm a bit concerned about Anointed Peacekeeper, but I do have Ancestral Recall. But I still think I want to lead on gran-gran. Or maybe I'm a massive liar. Maybe I want to lead on Ancestral. Yeah, no, I am a massive liar. I apologise about that. I want to lead on Ancestral. And then gran-gran, activate, Lizard, Vengevine. Yeah, okay. I'm just sorry about that. Okay, another Bazaar drawn, but we're going to take the Tropical Island line. And then we're just going to go Ancestral in their upkeep. It's the first time they're going to have 2 land drops available to them. We Ancestral, though. We draw more Vengevines. They've got an Ancient Tomb. Do they have an Anointed Peacekeeper? Yes, that's annoying. So I've got 3 Bazaar of Baghdad's in my hand, you see? That's why that's annoying. What a load of horse shit. Right. Sphinx of Foresight. I can play gran-gran. I can go to my end step. I can discard Lizard Vengevine. I can cast a Lizard. I can trigger a Vengevine. Do they have... Oh, they've got loads. Okay. They just had mana for days, didn't they? Lightning Adventurer. Yeah, okay. Well, gran-gran can get in. Lizard can get in. Do you have more to do? What the fuck? Okay. Oh, protection from creatures. Yeah, how annoying. Witch Enchanter. Oh my god. That was pretty toxic turn of events. I can't block. It's got vigilance. My turn. They untap everything. Another Sphinx of Foresight. So attack with gran-gran vengevine. No, that's nonsense. Okay, next game. So I think the rods are good here. And obviously the dismembers are good as well. So we'll do that. I will bring in the collectors, but I'm not actually too excited by them. Force of negation, force of will, mental misstep, maybe one of the trops, and then it's 8 and 10. So maybe the collectors just don't come in. We do something like this. Does that make sense to everybody? I've got power, I've got toughness, I've got Besage You and Dismember. Sure. Let's give this a bash. That was horrendous. How did they have so much mana for the whole game? Okay. This is good. We've got a Sphinx, we've got a Bazaar. They can't interact with us in any like meaningful way because like Leyline's not relevant. Chancellor is going to kill one lizard. I've got 3 lizards. It's just going to be turn 1 Tabernacle is a big issue. So, yeah. Show game log, please. I haven't chosen anything yet. Oppo keeps on 7. We keep on 7. That's a Sphinx. They don't have any opening hand things. I've got a Vengevine there. So let's bottom Trademage. Top Strip Mine. Top Vengevine. Go to our main phase. Play. Activate. Discard. Discard. I think I might just discard the Sphinx here. Oh no, I need to discard the Vengevine, Josh. Come on now. Discard the Vengevine. And then if they have got a Tabernacle, we've got a rego next time around. But I am going to deploy the hollow one this time around. But I'm still a lock to get the Vengevine back next turn if they just go Tabernacle go, you know? So, Plains, Mana Crypt, Archon of Emeria, sure. That's fine. We can just strip mine your Plains, I think. Maybe. I can't because it's going to come and play tapped. And my Modo is just going to crash. So I've got a tapped strip mine and an attack for 9 points of damage. And they've got a Mana Crypt. And I can make a flash speed lizard on their turn, which is what I'm going to go for. So Mana Crypt's in. They win the flip. They've got a Caracas and an Archon of Absolution. Very cute. Okay. Archon of Emeria doesn't come in, which means I need to hold on for a second. Gran-Gran's not any good. We'll play this. We'll attack for 4. Like, so we'll pay the 1. Declare blockers, please. What do they put in front? It's an Archon of Emeria. Just an Archon of Emeria as well. And then we're going to hang fire on the activation, I think, because... Oh, they win another flip. We can hang fire on the activation because I've got more to do. They go after my land. And they play a Witch Enchanter to go after my Hollow one. Yeah, so I can hold on because then I'm going to reanimate this Vengevine. That flies, right? Yeah, okay. So then if I don't hold on and I find a Vengevine... no, so they're not doing anything. I'm going to play my 2 lizards because I can find a Dismember this turn. I don't want to pump that lizard. I'll play both lizards because I want to find a Dismember. That's a Vengevine as well. 1, 2, 3, guys. I can play 2 spells a turn. Yield to all. I just need to find mana-producing lands or Dismembers, right? So that's a lizard. It's a lizard and a Vengevine. Next turn, draw. It's not a mana-producing land. That's a Dismember and a mana-producing land. So we can probably just win, right? Discard Bazaar of Baghdad. Play Ancient Tomb. Dismember your Witch Enchanter, right? Just dismember the Witch Enchanter. And then attack. Cool. So we're in game 2. Now we've got to survive the play. Do I want my forces back or do I want to play catch up? I don't like the null rods at all on the draw. I think I want 4 forces to come back in. And I think we'll just drop a Once Upon a Time. And we'll try like that. And I will fight mana on these forces, I think, unless the blue card in hand is like critical to my game plan. But what are we on? We're on 16, 17 blue cards. That's not embarrassing. This hand is bad, so we'll ship it. This hand is also quite bad, but I've got a Scry 6 and a Dismember. I think it's bad. Do I just go to 5? Oh, what am I looking for? Lotus or Bazaar of Baghdad? But I don't have a Scry 6, right? I've got a Scry 3, really, realistically. I could have a Scry 6 and just ditch the Trademage. But I've got no protection either. Okay, I'm going to mulligan. Once Upon a Time, Sphinx of Foresight. Gran-gran. So I'll keep this. I'll bottom this guy. And I'll bottom this guy. Say done. Reveal a Sphinx. Say okay. I've got a Once Upon a Time as well to use. This was not a convincing game. Pretty tough. Mocked Ruby. Vexing Bauble. Vexing Bauble should be beatable. Sphinx of Foresight. Flooded Strand. Blazing. I'll take a Flooded Strand. It's at least mana. Planes. So we'll scry 3, and I'm pretty convinced that we're just strip mining here. If I'm honest with you, I can't imagine what I'm finding. I don't want any of these. Maybe I want a replacement gran-gran, but no, I don't think I do. Draw step, lizard, strip mine, planes, and I can play gran-gran next turn. But now they can't produce mana unless they go through their bauble. Yep, they go through their bauble. They play a Chrome Mox. Pitching a Seasoned Dungeoneer, Ancient Tomb. Anointed Peacekeeper. Anointed Peacekeeper probably named gran-gran, I imagine. Or Basking Root Oller, because that one's actually going to be able to trade with the Peacekeeper. It name's Flooded Strand. That makes a lot more sense. Bazaar? Baseju. Okay. Play this, play a root wall of them. Our opponent's done a very good job at drawing mana at like the most annoying times. Because their start was really weak. Just Plains Ruby, Vexing Bauble. We answered, and it happened in games 1 and 2, right? Both games that happened. Hollow 1, and I can't get anywhere. Okay, very fine, very fine. They are one of the better mono white players, so I trust their sequencing, but the way it plays out feels very demoralizing. Okie Dokie, we're up against OD. Has been a Dredge player in the past, could be a Lurus player. I'm going to keep this, but they're not a Lurus player, right? There's no Lurus already. I've got turn 1 Bazaar, or if I once upon a time into... Well, it won't be a Black Lotus based on the text on that card. So let's just cast once upon a time. Let's take an Ancient Tomb. And activate our Bazaar of Baghdad nonetheless. We do hit a vengevine, which is pretty tasty. We've got a Force of Negation, so we can get pitch in if we want to. Lizard, vengevine. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Every time I get to do this, I'm so happy. Although we might get Noxious here, actually. Wrong Mox to play the Trademage, which is a shame. Yep, I'd love it back, thank you. We didn't get Noxious. I wonder what they're doing with themselves then. They've been on a bit of a bug Lurus arc throughout the Fantastica days. I don't know what they've been doing since then. I'm gonna drop this Emerald. Is that true? Or do I want Emerald in play, in hand? I think I want Emerald in hand for now. If I get, you know, Golos Tabernacled, then more for me. But I think on the Emerald in hand as discard equity. So opponent's turn 1, they're at 16. They're taking some damage. I can just pump a Lizard next turn as well if nothing else happens. Underground Sea. Mox Jet. Oh, we Doomsdaying. Is it a Day of Doom? If it is, then that'll be interesting. What do I have for Doomsday? I don't know. Just this Force of Negation, basically. Ponder's fine. Okay, if they're playing Doomsday, we want to be playing Mox Emerald Tropical Island. Pump, you know? Or, well, pump. And then next turn we can play Ancient Tomb pump, and just pray that that's good. They might be forced to fight a Mox Emerald. But I guess it depends on whether I play a land first or not. I don't know. Because if I draw a strip mine, am I stripping or am I just pumping? So Ponder resolves. And then no Dark Ritual Doomsday. They need to wait for their Flusterstorm to be up. So then that's another question, right? If they were to go, if next turn they untap and they go Dark Ritual Doomsday, and I go Force of Negation, they go Flusterstorm, then I still won't be able to pay with Ancient Tomb Emerald. So I can just pump instead and just cope. But then Sapphire does change that maths, right? Sapphire makes it so that I can pay for a Flusterstorm and fight a Doomsday. But Sapphire also means that I can play a Trademage this turn, but I don't want to do that. I want to. I have to play Tropical Island and pump. Wait, what's this? 6 and then 10, right? So I can actually play 4 that. I can play 4, pay for your Flusterstorm, and then kill you next turn. Right? Ritual Doomsday, Ritual Doomsday, Negation Fluster, that's 4. So it just means that they have to Force of Will. 6 and then 10 is on board. Well, not on board, but I've got a Trop in hand, so we know we can 6 and then 10. So it is lethal. And we can beat the Flusterstorm. Okay. We can't beat the second Flusterstorm. That's not possible. So, and then after this match, I'll restart my Modo because it's getting a bit hairy. Consult. Consult for what? Cast Consult. Intercept Consult is. Oh, name's Dark Ritual. Exiles not nearly enough of their Thassa's Oracles. They did exile 2 Flusterstorms, so now they're just going to be on Force of Will, and that's really tough. They exiled Gush, Underground Sea, Undercity Sewers. Okay, so they didn't exile all their lands either. Black Lotus did disappear, though. So Black Lotus, Gush leaving can make a pile pretty difficult, I think. Consult's gone, so I can't get Thoracle consulted. Then they've got a Dark Ritual, which resolves. And they've got a Doomsday, which I fight. And they need Force of Will now. They've exiled 1. They cycle a Street Wraith, which is good because that's a card draw spell that's gone. And then they Force of Will, which they had to find. Okay. And then do they have a way into their pile now? It's the big question. And do you have a kill with no Lotus, no Gush? Because that's really tough in my mind. What would a kill with no Lotus, no Gush be? It would be cycle Street Wraith, get Ancestral into Sapphire Walk, Sapphire Walk, Underground Sea. Yeah, okay. So there is a line there. And then you untap, draw, Thoracle, and win. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay. I liked the line we took. We picked the spot that we had to take. Maybe this was their only way in, and now they're really up against it. But it seems unlikely because they haven't conceded. If they don't have a second Street Wraith, I think it's over. Yeah, no, they've conceded. Okay, they don't have a way in. The Street Wraith was lethal. Cool. So we steal game 1 against Doomsday. We just need to steal one of the next 2. So I think I like Force of Negation. And I think I like Dismember for like the Oculus. And I think that's all I care about. What do we cut in exchange for that is a very, very good question. None of the blue cards. Maybe a couple of lizards. Maybe a Once Upon a Time. Maybe the other way around. Maybe I play 3 lizards. Maybe. Depends on what Magic Online thinks, really. Maybe I play 3 lizards and 2 onces. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think I want Rods and Oofs. I don't think that's where I want to be. Okay, this hand is both marvelous and terrible. This is an emerald. If it was a sapphire, we'd be snapping it off. But I think I need protection and something good to do. So I've got protection. I don't have anything good to do. What do we think? What do we think? I think we keep. I think we send away Hollow One and just stay done. Maybe this hand's far too weak actually. But I don't know. I didn't want to go to 5. I don't think my 5s are explosive enough. They've kept 7, which I'm not delighted by. Flooded Strand. Fetches it up straight away. Gets an Underground Sea. Plays a Ponder, sure. No response. Okay. Well, not great. Is 3 a turn going to carry a Doomsday matchup? Really? Probably not. Does my hand have the cards I wanted to draw in it? Yes. Would I rather have a Sphinx? Oh, Black Lotus. Okay. Are we going in? Maybe I was supposed to fight the Lotus. Maybe once again I was supposed to fight Lotus. Because if they've got Flusterstorm behind, they'll just play Lotus and pass, yeah. And now I'm going to die to a Flusterstorm. How sad. Okay. I should have fetched, really, shouldn't I? That was pretty poor form. A few moments of poor form in this game so far. But we'll see. So if they just crack this off and just play Doomsday, I'm just gonna be so annoyed that I didn't fight the Lotus. Or they could do nothing. Yeah, they could just do nothing. That's an interesting idea. Ancestral Recall? No, gran-gran's in though. Gran-gran's arrived. I probably don't play gran-gran. I probably just send the lizard for 3. Cross our fingers to survive another turn, and then have Force of Will, Force of Negation up. But I'm never gonna have that, am I? Actually, now that we've come to say that out loud, I am never actually gonna have that up because I'm always gonna pump this lizard. So maybe I want gran-gran in play, and you just take 1. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's do that instead. So opponent takes their 1, and then we'll just cast a gran-gran. Because I don't think I'm ever going to have Force of Will, Force of Negation up. If I'm honest with you. So, yeah, gran-gran's in. And then we've got to survive this turn. And then I can realistically have Force of Will, Force of Negation available. But turn 3 against Doomsday sounds pretty suspicious for us to survive. Opponent has an end step Ancestral, which I think I want to fight. I beat Days. If they fluster me, and it costs them a Lotus. It just happens. So maybe I'm just dead. Interesting timing on that, right? Because they missed a land drop to get that Ancestral off in my end step. So I'm surprised that they didn't just go during their turn. Then if they have like Doomsday Ponder here, then it just makes a lot of sense, right? Okay. Yeah, there's a Doomsday. And our out here is that they just don't add any permission to the pile and die to Dismember. So the Ancestral was bait. The Ancestral was a problem. The land drop was not necessary. And they're picking up their Ancestral. So their library will probably be empty. No. No, I did not have all the Besagis in the deck. So let's grab those quickly. I don't know if I want all the Dismembers. Maybe just 1. Maybe Once Upon a Time can just trim as well. So maybe 2 Dismembers, no Once Upon a Time is fine. And we're just like so exceptionally full of blue cards. And like I don't need Once Upon a Time to find lands because I'm playing 19 of them now. Plus my power cards. This is cute, but is it good? Well, Bazaar, it can find me permission, then Bazaar can get me into it, right? I'm on the play. So I will keep this. I've got Scry 6 on my first upkeep. And then if I find like Lizard Vengevine, that's great. And if I find Force, that's also great, right? So let's see what comes up. Opponent keeps on 6. I've got Sphinx to work with here. Have I done both of them? Opponent has Leyline. We have Sphinx. So Vengevines aren't great, but lizards are. Lizard and the hollow ones are great. Lizards. Well, that is perfect, right? I draw. Yeah, I draw it all. Put on top. Put on top. Put on top. No response. Put on top. Put on top. Put on top. First main phase. Bazaar of Baghdad. 2 lizards. And a Force of Negation. Let's drop a Sphinx of Foresight, I think. And I've got Wasteland for their lands on the top of my deck here. I've got Force of Negation and Time Walk to push some damage with later if I want to. And they're on 5 cards because they've got a Leyline in play. So that's cool. That looks good. I like where we're at. And if they've got a probe or a duress or something, then they won't see my wasteland. Scalding Tarn fetches it up. Underground Sea. Ponder. Okay. We don't know what's underneath the wasteland. I don't really feel like I want to be activating my Bazaar. I quite like my hand. So opponent's Ponder is going to find them some stuff, but hopefully, you know, this wasteland puts them pretty low on resources. And they struggle to get into the game. That's the idea. I still don't think I want to be activating this Bazaar of Baghdad because my hand looks really nice and tasty. Maybe Time Walk is a card I can actually discard because it's just 2 points of damage. But the two lands I really do like against something like a Tabernacle in the future. I think this first Wasteland though is just such high value to slow them down. There's a Flood of Strand, but it's fine. They fetch immediately. Another Sea and another Ponder. So this turn, depending on what we draw, I might give it an activate. I might be willing to come off this Sphinx of Foresight or Walk. I guess Sphinx of Foresight is what we come off of rather than Time Walk. Time Walk will remain castable as the game goes on. But I'm interested in finding one of my wastelands, right? That's a Flooded Strand. So yeah, I'll give it a flick. Why not? Force of Will, gran-gran. So actually, am I just discarding all my lands? I don't want to do that. Time Walk, Wood of Foothills, Flooded Strand. Play gran-gran. Not Time Walk, discard the Sphinx. Yeah, I think that is eminently acceptable. I could hold up double force, but I'm going to play my gran-gran. Get my card flow going. I don't think that's very good, but I like it. Maybe that was nonsense. Maybe that was nonsense. Maybe it's just supposed to be force. Because now what am I doing? I'm just cycling gran-gran cards every turn until I get back onto force. So yeah, this was nonsense. It does make the clock faster. That's for sure. That is for sure. So in for 2, opponent falls to 14, and then it's like quite a while until they die. Okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this play. I think I should have no lands in play, but double force online. Okay. Preordained's fine. Yeah, preordain is the dream. You keep spinning your wheels, son. That is fine by me. I found another land. I found unable to screen on gran-gran. Okay. So now we are sad about gran-gran being in play. Okay, that's fine. Tropical Island. And I guess just attack for 4 then. That's all we'll do. Gran-gran can't do anything for us. She has no abilities. Grandma has been muted. And okay. Now this is a big turn for them. Do we fight a Doomsday if they just tap all 3 lands and play Doomsday, you know? Big questions. Flooded Strand. If they tap all their lands and play Doomsday, they'll be at 4, right? So they can't do that. They can't do a pass the turn pile at this stage. Because I've got 2 lizards. Underground Sea. Black Dark Ritual. Okay. Doomsday. So they have to have like Fluster land straight up. Do I just fight the... What's the spell that they can have? No, I'm not going to respond to Doomsday because I think I can kill them. Okay, I wish gran-gran was in hand. Don't get me wrong, I wish gran-gran was in hand. I really don't like that line that I took. And like, it was one of those stupid ones where I'm like, I want to play the cool card, but whilst I'm doing it, I know it's wrong. So it's just absolutely ridiculous. I should have Force up. Opponent's resolving a Doomsday, but they've only got 2 cards in hand, right? So if they play Ponder, then I can fight. Like, I can fight the card draw spell, is what I'm thinking. If they're holding Street Race, then I wish I'd fought Doomsday. If they're holding Gush, then I can just Force of Negation, Gush, pitching, Time Walk, and then win, I assume, because they'll be at 4 or 5. Let's see how many life points they're on. Tabernacle's gone. The 2 creatures have gone. Flusterstorm is gone. Is that right? No. I read Misstep or Probe as that. They play Unable to Scream on my dude. They're at 4. No response. My turn, and I get to... What, just top deck Lotus and cast Time Walk? That would be cool. Sage you. So, gran-gran is a legend. I think I still just need to attack for 1 and cast Time Walk, right? And hope that their card isn't Flusterstorm. If it is Flusterstorm, though, then I get to fight the... Yeah, I think I'm in really good shape here. Just cast Time Walk, and then if they've got Flusterstorm, then that's their last card, and I fight the card draw spell. It is a Flusterstorm. Okay, but I get to fight the card draw spell now. And then the card draw spell won't resolve, and I'll win. Okay. Nice. Sweaty games. This gran-gran should have been in our hand, and this game should not have been difficult. But here we are. Force of Will on Ancestral Recall. Pump a Lizard, and it's over. That's the line. So we waited for a very long time on that Force of Will, which was pretty cool. What a match! That was cool. Okay, we have a match. We're up against Backside 180, who I've played in the past. I just can't remember what they play, but I know the name. We've got a Bazaar of Baghdad, Once Upon a Time, a bunch of stuff to protect ourselves with. The big question here, they've got Kahira the Orphan Guard. Okay, so they're on lands. Do we want to lead Bazaar of Baghdad? Do we want to lead Tropical Island, gran-gran? We'll keep. I think we'll cast Once Upon a Time and then check in. I'm tempted by the gran-gran play, though. Okay, lands. Lands is pretty tough. Vengevine, Hollow One. I want both of those, actually. Maybe we just take Vengevine, play Wooded Foothills, and just pass. And then I'm rolled up for next turn, and I've got a Force of Will if you play a Trinisphere or a Void Mirror. And you can't wreck my Wooded Foothills. Mox Emerald. Basic Forest. Fast Bond. Yeah, no. Can't imagine that's good for us. Pitch a Time Walks. We need the gran-gran for the Vengevine next turn. Another Fast Bond? Or was that it? No, that was it. Okay. So we get to flex on them with our Vengevine and our gran-gran. Ancient Tomb. Not the one. Let's just activate this for Trop. Play Bazaar of Baghdad and activate it. We hit another lizard. So we'll cast both of those guys. We'll still cast the gran-gran this turn. And then next turn we'll have Trademage to put more threats in play, provided we don't die. Let's cast this guy. And then for you, you're at 16. You're taking 9 next turn. You're taking 9 next turn? No, it's really just 7, isn't it? Really just 7 if you count. I'm not big on the counting, but if we're forced to, it will just be 7. Tabernacle would be a very annoying card for them to play next turn. Ooh, what's this? Oh, Crop Rot for Maze of Ith, Wasteland, Tabernacle. This has got to be one of the most miserable matchups in the world for the Bazaar decks. They didn't get Bog in response to Vengevine, so it's just going to be Tab or Strip, right? Tab, Strip. Maybe you can get like a Workshop. Maybe they've got a very quick Dark Depths. Just a Maze of Ith. Okay, Maze of Ith is not concerning. Like, it obviously puts them to 20 instead of 16, but like Tabernacle, Strip Mine, Wasteland, Workshop, all of those are scary. Maze of Ith is just sure, right. Sacrifice my forest, fog you is fine. That was one of the most expensive fogs of all time. And then what have we got here? Besage you on Bazaar of Baghdad. I do want to have a look, and I do want to get a drop. Send this back to me. Hollow one or Trademage? Do I attack first? Or do I just play a Trademage? I probably just attack first with the squad. I get a gran-gran trigger. Maze of Ith untaps. Vengevine. Sphinx of Foresight's also really interesting, isn't it? What if I just discard Hollow one, play Sphinx? And I've still got Trademage in hand going forwards. Maybe Trademage is worse than Hollow one. No, I think Hollow one's worse than Trademage. And now I can just play a Sphinx as a Steel Wind. Ah, it's not Sphinx as a Steel Wind. I wish it was, but it's a Sphinx of Foresight. So the opponent takes 3. Like, they have prevented 8 damage, but just like the other cards that we came up with earlier were so much scarier. And now we can just go Ancient Tomb, Sphinx of Foresight. And now I've got another 4-power creature in play. And I've got not an engine, but I have got Scry 1 every turn. And if I just top deck a land, then I can just play the land, play the Trademage, mill 2, pump a lizard. Rawr. You know? Oh, that's cool. They could have a very quick 2020 here then. Lizard. Perfect. Is Lizard perfect? I think it's relatively perfect. Because now I can just play a Trademage. Mill 2, and if I hit a Vengevine, then it's in play, you know? That's not a Vengevine. But hey ho, never mind. We get a Lizard. We cast it. We slay with everyone. I've got the chump block here. On the gran-gran mills 1. It's just a Flooded Strand. Opponent will Maze of Ith something. Vengevine, I guess, yeah. If they do have another crop rot into Dark Depths, then I'm probably going to die. But if they had that, they would have just done it now, right? And blocked instead of letting me through. And I can pump both lizards next turn. Vexing Bauble's too slow. That's not the one. Sacrifices Vexing Bauble straight away. That makes sense. But I've got the double pump on the 2 green lizards here. So that's 6, 10, 14, 15 damage. Before, well, 19 damage, and then they maze me. Yeah, cool. Okay. I feel like every game we win here is going to be like, we got away with one, you know? I want as many strips as I can find. Do I care about the negations? Do I just want oofs? Dismembers aren't very good. Maybe I just want the strips. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Just strip mines. Negations beat up on like fast bonds. They don't beat crop rot. No, I think I'm happy with just having as many creatures and strip mines as possible, and as many lands as possible to play through Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale as possible. As possible has been said a lot in the last 10 seconds. I apologize. Oppo up to 61 still has a hero. We've got a Force of Will pitching Sphinx of Foresight, and we've also got Sphinx of Foresight to scry with, which is cool. So we've got the Bazaar. We need to find another creature. We can't bank on having the Sphinx in hand going into our turn 1. It's probably just going to get pitched to Force of Will. Opponent has got 6 cards in hand, no Leyline of the Void. Okay, that's pretty big. Void Mirrors and Vexing Baubles cannot resolve, because we're so reliant on these Moxon to work with later. So Black Lotus, that's not an exciting one for the home team to play against. But what does Black Lotus do? Yavimaya Cradle. Vexing Bauble, no. 3 cards left over there. What a bitch. Okay. I get to scry 3. I get to bottom Once Upon a Time. I get to bottom gran-gran. I get to top Bazaar of Baghdad. We get to top Bazaar of Baghdad because it is a forest at the moment. There was no winning there, was there? Well, I guess. Well, yeah, no, that was just fucked. They've only got 2 cards left. They can't really cast spells themselves. We've got 2 Bazaar of Bagdads and their forests. We can really travel somewhere here. We can discard these Moxon nice and easy. Ding, ding. I guess Dong on the Vengevine, and then I just play 3 drops all day. Yeah, cool, perfect. And if they've got strip mine, they've got strip mine. I've got another Bazaar. I can keep fishing and keep looking. Ancient Tomb, that's not cool, man. Graphics Cage is fine, yeah, nobody cares. That's an Ancient Tomb of my own. Okay, it was quite cool. I apologize, I lied. Ancient Tomb was quite cool. Okay, you'll go. Right, we've now got Power and Toughness. They've got 1 card in hand. So Wasteland, that's probably fine long term. Kills the Bazaar of Baghdad. Yeah, that's the dream. That is the dream. Verdant Catacombs means I can play a Bazaar Trademage. We'll probably just come off of our next Bazaar. Although maybe that's wrong, because if I get stripped again, waste Besager who endures. I like Besager who endures. Let's discard these 3 cards. Keep Besager. Don't cast this because there's a Trinisphere in play. Bink for 1. And then I can maybe Besager a Trinisphere. Maybe just play a Besager and call it a day, you know? That might also work. Just 5 a turn. Mishra's Workshop. Taps for a green mana. If they buy Kahira, then we probably just Besage you that. Oh, they Besage you my Ancient Tomb. Okay, that's fine as well, right? So that's just this. Yeah, that's absolutely fine by me. I've got 2 creatures in place. I'm fine against I've got 2 creatures in place. I'm absolutely fine against Maze of Ith and Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. I'm not going to play another land. And then if they buy Kahira this turn, then we will have to Besage you the Yavimaya Cradle. But I'm set for Forest at this stage, and they're not. And they're just going to forget about Kahira. Oh, the dream. What Kahira? Okay, attack. Pump. 6 a turn is pretty good. And then if I draw a blue card next turn, then we can just... I mean, they'll just die anyway, so it doesn't matter. Waterlord Grove. Green. Green. Less green. Cycles the Waterlord Grove. Needs a miracle, I think. Like Fast Bond Maze of Ith is the play, I guess. Note in the Dead. Perfect. This is stressful, this matchup. Like, Cropbot's insane. But just luckily it was one of those hands where their Trinisphere locks them too. And we had great search because we had a Sphinx trigger followed by 2 Bazaars to really dig. So that was cool. Okie Dokie Nerds final round, 5th and final round. We are on the play against the old grind core 444. Cool stuff. This is a keep, right? If ever I saw one. Keep City Life. Once upon a time will be the lead off, then we'll see if we do something good. Let's go once upon a time into, I presume, Ancient Tomb out of that lot. Play a tropical island, and do we sandbag the Ancestral because we're so excited about the Bazaar Trademage? Or do we just send Ancestral? I think we just send Ancestral. And I draw Sphinx of Foresight, and I've got the Bazaar of Baghdad if I need it. So opponent 8 cards in hand, me 8 cards in hand. That's quite cool. Black Lotus. I've been getting wrecked by Black Lotuses recently. Do you just want to bink that one off? I might do actually. Just get that gone. No, thank you. Mishra's Workshop. Vexing Bauble. Okay, not cool. Not cool. Time Vault. Also not cool. Okay, we could be in trouble. We could be in trouble. Do we just want to strip mine? Probably. I'm pretty into strip mine, I think. Strip mine, make a lizard. Because the lizard is free, right? Because vengevine is vengevine would roll on in anyway off this trade mage whenever I cast it. Let's just hit them with the old strip diddy. And then bing bing. And then if they just go, I don't know, Ancient Tomb Key, then congratulations. I'm not going to cast this Mock Sapphire Magic Online. Leave me alone. They opt to skip a turn. Lovely stuff. Thank you. Ancient Tomb, Bazaar Trademage. Maybe that was where one land. Can we hit a Vengevine? We cannot. Let's discard Lizard, Sapphire, Sphinx of Foresight. None of these guys come into play, are they? Maybe not the Lizard then. Maybe Bazaar Lizard. Yeah, maybe it's Bazaar Lizard Sapphire. So it is the Lizard. Oh no. Discord noises. Cast this. That gets track countered. I don't have a Vengevine. I do get him for 1 though. My opponent's got 2 turns of their own. Fine, fine, fine. Are they missing on lands? Are they hurting? They are hurting. Okay, give me a tropical island. It's a gran-gran. I'm just going to take a Bazaar Trademage, thank you very much. So I might be able to hit land vengevine from here. That'd be really tough, actually, land vengevine. Well, my Force of Will doesn't do anything, so my Force of Will can probably just get gone. Another Trademage, please, sir. And then we're getting in for real numbers at that point. Real good numbers. Trademage lands. Trigger on the stack. How did my Bazaar of Baghdad die? Oh, I traded it with the Trademage. Sorry. sorry. Sure, whatever. Let's hold a gran-gran because that's probably more castable than Sphinx. That might not even be true. Yeah, that might not even be true. Yeah, I don't know if that is true. Lizard will just chuck him on the top, I think. I am still holding this Force of Will. Right, my computer shouldn't make noises. I am still holding this Force of Will, just in case they need it, you know, but just in case we need it. The next turn we hit them for 9. They're just giving me more turns. Once upon a time. Can that do anything relevant? I mean, you can just find me another tropical island, right? So then that's in. That's 9 damage. Crunch. And now they've got to take an extra turn. Ancient Tomb. Takes a turn. Do we need to cycle the Vexing Bauble to get there? Or are you there already? You're not there already, otherwise you would have played it already. Concedes the game. Whew. Trademages. Just Ancient Tomb Trademages. Incredible work. Okay, what do we want? Negations? Besages? Oofs and rods? I've not been convinced by the oofs. I'll tell you that for free. So I think Once Upon a Time goes away. I think a couple of lizards have to die. And then maybe I'm just redropping that negation. Maybe all the lizards go. No, maybe gran-gran goes. A couple of gran-grans. Yeah, I don't want to go down to below 6 lizards. Single gran-gran does not sound correct, but that's what we're running. Genuinely legendary. Okay, we've got a major keeper here. We've got double Beseju. We've got Bazaar of Baghdad, Vengevine. It looks great. It looks great. We just need to like not get needled. Well, getting needles fine, isn't it? Needles fine. Cage is fine. We need to not get Vault Keyed and not get Fantastic Card. I guess that's the joke here. Sphere of Resistance, fine. I've got a Beseju that I can lead on. Yeah. So basically, no protection, but very, very decent outs to build out from underneath their first go of it, right? If they're prisony. If they're rakery, then it's problematic. Or if they play a One Ring, Mana Vault, sure. Don't do it, boss man. Just be cool about it, you know. Just play a Lodestone Golem. I don't know. Has a Talon Gates of Madara. Madara. Talon Gates and nothing else to do. Well. What does that mean? It means I'm going to activate my Bazaar of Baghdad. I've got no other search. I find nothing. So let's discard Vengevine. Am I just going to get stripped? I'm going to discard the other Bazaar. And I'm going to discard the Verdant. I'm going to drop my 2 boys, my 2 zeros. What have they got? I mean, I could just nuke their Mana Vault, right? I could just nuke Mana Vault Ruby and just put them to 2 mana, but then if they just play a Workshop, then it's just shite anyway, isn't it? So I think we chill. Because I also want to be able to top deck a Trademage and get a Vengevine back. This is a worm called Tezzeret, that's not cool. Tezzeret might be killable if I hit the Vengevine this turn. I imagine they'll get a top and we'll just misstep the top. Paying the iron price for the misstep, I imagine. So yeah, that does go down, which is good to see. And then what are they going for is the big question. Top or Vexing Bauble, I guess they're the... Or maybe a Manifold Key to... Voltaic Key to get the Mana Vault. They get Vexing Bauble. Sure, that makes sense. Do you send a Mana Vault for it? And I guess I fight this. Yeah, I guess I fight this. Just if they play Time Vault, I'm just so sad. Then I have to hit. But the Time Vault didn't really make sense. But they're banking on untapping that Mana Vault going forwards. We are going to draw a card. And we do hit. Okay, excellent news. So, activate the Bazaar of Baghdad. Null Rod's a banger. So Lizard, Lizard. Force of Will, I guess. Maybe not Force of Will. Maybe one of the Basages can go. Yeah, maybe one of the Basages can go. Because I don't care now, right? I don't care about anything that you're doing. Your Tezzeret's dead. I play Basaju. I play Null Rod. And the game ends. Kill Tez. Tezzeret dead. Basaju play it, because that beats Tabernacle on my Vengevine. Bob's your uncle. Nice Talon Gates. Enjoy yourself. Force of Will? What? Oh, they're jewel shops. Okay, they did enjoy themselves, and they may do still. Wow. Where did that come from? I was not expecting Force of Will out of this opponent. But hey ho, okay, well. Force of Will just happened. They fall to 18 due to the Mana Vault, and they have a snow-covered island. Wow, they're all over the shop. But I've now got hardcast Force of Will up for the rest of the game, and you're taking 6, 6, and then 6? Yeah, gaming. Okay. Okay, we continue. Now I've got to be stressed out about things like Hull Breacher. Oh, that's not true. I've drawn an Ancient Tomb. Okay. Attack, attack, attack. And pump a Lizard with these 2 permanents, holding up hardcast Force of Will. Which they also had Force of Will in their deck. But now they're dying super fast, because it's actually now 9 than 9 because of the Mana Vault, right? So, well, they can untap Mana Vault, actually. Wow, I've never been so shocked by Force of Will in my life. Incredible work. I'm here debriefing game 2. And that's when I find out my opponent has blue cards in their deck and an island, you know? So, right, but this is tough, because if you take this point of damage, then you're dead on board. So, well, you're already dead on board. Okay, yeah, this is super tough. Well, it's not tough at that point then, right? You just don't untap the thing. Oh, you just concede the game. Perfect. Okay, in review, this Force of Will shocked me. This Force of Will was great. Them forcing my null rod meant I had Force of Will open for the rest of the game. This clock is fast. This Mana Vault was helping, apart from the fact that they were going to die anyway. And that was a 6-6 league. Thank you, Ryan, for the suggestion. Let's take a quick look at what we played against Dredge, which I feel like I should have won game one. Mono White, I felt like I got bullied. I felt like that was a real problematic matchup. Chamitino is one of the very good Mono White players. I'm not very good at remembering what people play, but then the moment they start playing, I'm like, oh yeah, they play Mono White. You know what I mean? And I think you saw that in some of their sequencing was pretty good. They kept the information of what they could do and what I needed to play around quite secret. Or they just ran like a god, one of the two. But I'd rather praise my opponent than assume they got lucky. OD was on Doomsday, and we had that really long Force of Will. Backside on lands felt like we robbed them. Dual shops apparently, and yeah, that's a 4-1 with Bazaar Trademage, AggroVine. What an awesome deck that was. That was a lot of fun. I think we used all the cards as well. We used gran-gran for sure. We hard cast some Sphinxes. We hard cast some Trade Mages. 8 Lizards. Yeah, that was actually so sick. We're gonna play this again for sure. Let me know if there's anything I've forgotten. I've already been told I forgot Mana Crypt. That's absolutely for sure that I forgot Mana Crypt. Maybe that could be something else. I'm not sure what. Maybe I don't need 4 drops, but I feel like I'm low on lands. So, but I played the 17th land in the end. So maybe I'm not low on land. Maybe I'm just high. Anyway, that was Sick League. Thanks for watching. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, yada yada yada. Have a great one.